are a few competing philosophies for how movies are supposed to start. Do you begin with introductory dialogue to set up the characters, or do you jump straight into the fray, balls deep in action? Also, where do you draw the line between the long-standing literary discussion of showing and not telling? In other words, do you show the audience through symbolic and carefully constructed dialogue the backstory of the characters, or do you just come straight out and have secondary characters explain it for you step by step? Which creates more tension, and which has the most noticeable effect on the viewer? The thing about the movie I'm about to talk about is that it doesn't much care for any of that. It's Sylvester Stallone, and he's called the Demolition Man. How do you think the movie's gonna start? Los Angeles on fire in the year 1996. It's one of those movies that's placed slightly into the future from when the movie was made, and in this case, only 3 years. I guess they weren't giving the world much time to be hopeful, were they?
Remember when they used to let commercial airlines land in this town?
Yeah, well, I don't understand where we're going, or why the hell we're bothered anyhow.
Oh, we're about to get some plot development.
Give us a better reason?
Yeah, a maniac hijacked a municipal bus with 30 passengers on it. That's a pretty good reason.
Hey look, they're flying a really large helicopter in the middle of a war zone with bullets flying all over the place, and they're not getting hit. Must be because of Sylvester Stallone.
Send the maniac to catch one.
Oh, yep, he's about to jump out of a stationary helicopter getting shot at, and he doesn't care. You foolish villains, didn't you know? Sylvester Stallone is incapable of getting shot by stray bullets. If you haven't seen this movie, then you might actually be a bit surprised to learn that the story of this movie is quite unique. I know what you're thinking, it's Sylvester Stallone in an action movie from the 90s. How unique can it be? Well, considering that the premise of this movie is that a homicidal sociopath played by Wesley Snipes with a name like Simon Phoenix sets up an elaborately planned trap to get Stallone to blow up a building where he gets framed for the murder of 30 innocent kidnapped victims, only so that when Snipes gets arrested he brings down his arch nemesis, that's pretty badass. And all this within the first 5 minutes of the movie. I mean, it's basically trying to get you to believe that Stallone is so hardcore, the only course of action available to him was to blow up the building. If that's not the best premise for an action movie, then I don't know what is. Okay, so now let's skip ahead a little bit, as Stallone is tried and convicted for the manslaughter of 30 people.
Sergeant Spartan, you've been sentenced to 70 years, sub-zero rehabilitation in the California cryopenitentiary for the involuntary manslaughter of 30 innocent civilians.
Apparently, by 1996, it was thought to be possible that convicts can be frozen and stored away in huge ice cubes for the duration of their sentences. Within their sentences, the convicts wouldn't age, and would be given rehabilitation programs which would be downloaded into their brains so that when they were released decades later, they become useful members of the society again. That's all well and good, but that peachy outlook on the penal system doesn't really add anything to the plot. Let's see now. What can possibly go wrong when you have the technology to download huge quantities of information into a convict's head? I can't think of anything yet, but I'm sure something will come to me.
Teddy bear.
How'd you know the password to the cuffs?
I wish I knew.
Oh, there we go. So Wesley Snipes escapes from his parole hearing by releasing his cuffs using the password Teddy Bear? What the hell kind of a future penal system is this?
Well, greetings, Lenina Huxley.
Let me guess, Hollis Serene.
Ah! It's like the Stepford Wives on crack.
Don't you ever want something to happen?
Goodness, no.
So, we've abolished crime. I wonder what zany hijinks we can anticipate from our beloved police officers in the year 2032.
What's a 187?
Northwest
I don't know.
quadrant. Cryo prison, level 6. Identify code 187. MDK. Murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill.
Murder, death, kill.
Hey, wasn't there another top billing actor in this movie? Oh yeah, I forgot about him. I guess we should probably bring him back at some point. Oh wait, what a great excuse. The man who was the cause of his initial wrongful arrest is now loose again on the peaceful streets of LA in the future. Plot devices for the win!
John Spartan?
That's right. They called him the Demolition Man.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love this movie. I think it's one of the most entertaining but also incredibly hilarious action movies in the 90s. It also has one of the most convenient plot elements ever, which lends itself to some of the best one-liners. They even give Schwarzenegger a run for his money.
I don't know if you guys know it, but you're out of toilet paper.
Paper? Did you say toilet paper?
Oh, they used handfuls of wadded paper back in the 20s.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Thanks a lot, you shit
You are fine. You are
isolated for repeated violations of the verbal morality statute.
So much for the seashells. See you in a few minutes.
Fuck yeah! Screw you, technological progress. I'm gonna keep wiping my ass with paper, no matter how much more hygienic you can possibly make 3 seashells. Also, am I the only one who watched this movie and asked myself if even the writers knew what they were talking about with the seashells? Like, do you think they actually designed some kind of prototype that was possibly going to be used, but they left it out on the cutting room floor? That's something I would have loved to have found out.
We work for a living. This fascist crap makes me want to puke.
Yeah, push it to the man, Stallone. Okay, so I realize I haven't really spoken much about the movie as a whole, but do you really need me to say much more on the plot? Even though I did say earlier that it's a unique story, it's not so unique that it doesn't use action sequences to get it across. Mostly the concept of the story is unique, with awesome action scenes throughout to make you remember you're still watching a movie with Sylvester Stallone. Also, if you ever thought that movies like Transformers 2 were shameless with their product placements, you have not seen anything until you see how this movie handles advertisement.
I would like you to accompany me to Taco Bell.
He says I saved his life, which I'm not even sure I did, and my reward is dinner and dancing at Taco Bell. I mean, hey, I like Mexican food, but come on.
Your tone is quasi-facetious, but you do not realize that Taco Bell was the only restaurant to survive the franchise wars.
So?
So, now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
No way indeed. How can Taco Bell beat out Burger King? Come on now, those juicy quarter-pounder burgers, which make up their Whopper sandwiches with a side order of their famous golden crispy fries, all topped with a cold, refreshing root beer. Screw you, Taco Bell. If all this isn't enough to make you want to go out and find this movie, then I'm not sure what else I can say. It's campy, it's violent, and it's hilarious as hell. Now, I've obviously left out quite a bit of stuff, but it's all just character development and side plots, which, while awesome in their own way, are pretty predictable and obvious for an action movie coming out of the 90s. So yeah, watch it, love it, and take note. This is probably one of the best action movies out there. You can't get much better than something as ball-crunchingly awesome as this.
Hands up!
Okay, fine, a building didn't actually blow up at the end.
You really licked his ass.